Now on CoastTV News.
Legacy locations. Georgetown leaders try to find a safer spot for memorials in town.
Complex decision. Lewis considers what's best for its old Army Reserve building.
Colorful changes. Plans for new signs and new rules on the Ocean City Boardwalk revealed.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
After car accidents knocked down Georgetown memorials, the town debates moving them to a new location. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with the future of those memorials in the county seat.
You're looking at the Georgetown Circle. It is a notable landmark in town and was once home to 3 memorials. Coast TV News reporter Zakia Jennings is in the newsroom. Zakia, over the course of 2 years, those 3 different memorials were hit.
Maddie, the thought of moving the memorials, including one for fallen patrolman Chad Spicer, had a lot of people talking on social media. Georgetown's town manager says the safest location for the memorials is still up for discussion at tonight's town council meeting that starts at 6:45. The Georgetown Circle was once home to 3 memorials.
On the East Market Street side, we had the World War I Memorial. On the North Bedford Street side, the Chad Spicer Memorial, and on the West Market Street side, Chief Harvey Gregg.
Fallen patrolman Chad Spicer was killed in the line of duty in 2009.
That was a very tragic night. Very tragic, and it was so horrible.
All 3 memorials were permanently damaged after car crashes in 2023 and 2024.
The focus is where's the best place to put them with the best protection.
There were concerns online that the memorials would be moved to the new police department once it's built. Ruth Ann Spicer, Chad Spicer's mother, doesn't want the memorials moved.
I would love to have Chad and Chief Harvey Gregg's monuments being right here in the circle, but in a protected area, not where the traffic would be coming right onto the circle coming out.
Town manager Gene Dvornik says a final decision on placement has not been made. He says no one has contacted him with questions about the placement of the memorials. Dvornik told Coast TV the town's Circle Advisory Committee submitted a report in November with how to move forward.
One of the recommendations in the Circle Advisory Committee report was to get a group of the stakeholders related to all the monuments to make a final decision.
Ruth Ann Spicer sent us a statement today thanking everyone for, quote, their support of wanting to keep the monuments in the circle. Aubrey Spicer, Patrolman Spicer's daughter, is planning to express those same sentiments at tonight's town council meeting. Back to you.
Thank you, Zakia. Now, the crashes to those memorials, they were costly. According to the Georgetown Circle Advisory Committee's report from November, Spicer's memorial, along with other damages, totaled over $95,000. The World War I memorial damages was over $26,000 for repairs, and Chief Harvey Gregg's memorial, that was over $19,000 to fix. And we have some more information on the police officers that 2 of those memorials were dedicated for. Chad Spicer was killed while trying to pull over a car involved in another shooting. That was 2009. Chief Harvey Gregg died in 1998. He had a heart attack while directing traffic for a funeral procession at the Circle. To Lewis now, here's where a new complex will be built. The building for debate is the former Army Reserve Center off Savannah Road near the Frederick D. Thomas Middle School.
The property was acquired by the city back in 2023, but now comes the tough part, to fix it up or to tear it down. Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken is live in Lewis. Emma, the city is struggling with a couple of problems regarding the building's future.
Charlie, behind me is the former Army Reserve Center that will serve as a combined complex for the city, the police, and the Board of Public Works. That's all set in stone. What's not is whether the city will choose to demolish or renovate this structure. And at a meeting today, the city says this is both a financial and an environmental decision going forward. The city also says they've already completed phase 1 of an environmental study, and now they're looking to do phase 2 to get even more information. Also, the city says given the age of the site, it's hard to be sure what's below the surface since there are no environmental records from the building's first few decades. Some locals we spoke with say between demolition and renovation, they just want whichever is most cost effective.
Like most projects, it's going to involve a lot of time and money, disruption.
At the meeting today, the city did mention that the Army conducted their own study several years ago, and they did find some asbestos in the building. Now the city wants to do their own environmental study. Live in Lewis, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Let's go ahead and take a live look into Lewis, not too far from where Emma is standing right now. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams has a look at our forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Maddie. And no matter which view you take, all of them seem gorgeously the same. Beautiful skyline, clear skies, hardly a cloud in the sky. Even in Laurel, we're holding at 71 degrees right now. And this is what happens when you have high pressure that's working in your favor going into the spring season. We're going to drop down to 60 degrees under mostly clear skies by 9 o'clock. Then we'll dip down to 57 degrees. We do have a slight concern, not even a big deal. My mom would say no big whoop, is what we just said, no big whoopee, so to speak. So we're looking at still small craft advisory. It's going to be still breezy along the beaches, 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts for all beach areas. Now, coming up, we're going to talk about warming into the 80s, not one, but possibly 2 days in a row, Charlie.
Well, thank you, Paul. This afternoon, you might have noticed some smoke in the air. Coast TV was on the scene of this house fire in Lincoln. This is on Johnson Road near Virginia Pine Road and North Old State Road. You can see a lot of smoke in that area. There was teams, crews working on this. We will have much more on the story tonight at 11.
A new paramedic station is now open on Dickerson Road in Millsboro. A ribbon cutting made that open official, but the station actually opened for service in February. Now, the location was strategic for the area, specifically from Selbyville to Millsboro.
The opening of Medic 103 today really represents, our commitment and the county's commitment to providing paramedic services to this area. With the move over the past couple of years, with the county agreeing to build and have our own owned paramedic stations, it just really shows that county commitment to we're going to be here for the long haul.
The station will be open 24/7.
A former Clayton police chief takes a guilty plea in a drunk driving case. Carl Hudson pled guilty to DUI charges and was accepted into Delaware's first offender program. His license will be suspended for a year. He'll pay a $250 fine, and he must complete a DUI course. Prosecutors say Hudson was arrested in January after driving the wrong way on North Church Street in Milford. Officers say he failed a field sobriety test, and a breathalyzer showed his blood alcohol level was 0.17, over double the legal limit. We have this full story on CoastTV.com.
Drivers in Milton, we've all been aware of the overpass for years. Well, more lane closures for it at Route 16 and Route 1, and you can see people using the new bridge. Well, starting Thursday, there will be nighttime closures, specifically Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., lasting through September.
Happening soon in Georgetown, a public hearing on a new development plan. Applicants are seeking to change the land use designation for this land at 644 North Bedford Street. This proposed change would allow 60 single-family homes, 28 duplexes, and 20 townhomes.
Signs along the Ocean City Boardwalk may soon change forever. New signs will be placed along the boardwalk, but that means taking down some existing structures away. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe is live in Ocean City. Kevin, the town says it wants to reduce clutter.
Maddie, along the Ocean City Boardwalk, there's currently around 670 signs along the 2.5-mile stretch, and that's a lot, which is why the town is considering cutting it down. This is what the boardwalk looks like now, but plans to be presented to the council Tuesday shows a new color-coded system, with blue and yellow signs being information spots, helping people understand where they are, and green and pink signs telling people what they can and can't do along the boardwalk. Local John Gronke believes the boardwalk is in need of some changes.
Informationally speaking, it'll be a good idea
Brittany Horseman grew up in Ocean City as a kid and understands why some may want the current signs to stay.
I really like the nostalgic signs that have been here for so long, but I think it's nice to give people an idea of what they can and cannot do in certain areas if they've never been here before.
Gronke's not a fan of the proposed do's and don'ts.
The do's and don'ts, I really don't think it'll matter much. They're pretty much ignored no matter what color or design they come up with.
These changes also includes a welcome sign, updating restroom spots, and even adding an Ocean City sculpture for people to stop at and grab a family photo. The cost and timeline of when this would start has yet to be determined. Now, according to the presentation that'll be happening tomorrow, one of the main reasons why these new signs may take over the boardwalk is to make sure visitors know where they're going when in Ocean City. I'm Kevin Zappe in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
This brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, how much should boardwalks change?
Let's take a look at the updated results from last news hour. 81% still say minor updates, 11% say total makeover, 6% say just repairs, and 2% say no changes.
But we do have a comment today from Kelly. She says, I would have chosen just repairs, but I feel that something needs to be done about the tram experience other than completely doing away with it. If you haven't voted yet, if you want to leave a comment, you can go to coasttv.com or use the Coast TV mobile app. We will show you some updated results on Coast TV News at 11.
But here at 6, we are just getting started.
A deeper dive into local waterways. We take you to central Sussex County.
And we're looking for the temps to level up over the next few days. I'll explain to you what I mean by that coming up.
But first, breaking down food waste, how a new machine at the Food Bank of Delaware in Milford is helping the environment, when we're back in just 60 seconds.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
The Food Bank of Delaware in Milford unveiled their new machine this morning, which helps break down food waste.
It's called the Orca, and it can process between 800 and 1,000 pounds of food waste in a 24-hour period.
This food digester gets loaded during the day in 20, 30, 40-pound increments.
It uses air, microbes, water, and temperature to digest and accelerate the digestion of organic food waste. It is very similar to a mechanical stomach with biology involved to, as a byproduct, have only liquid come out and go to its end goal of wastewater treatment instead of the landfill.
The food bank says, for example, food that might be expired would be put into the Orca and then be processed into the environment safely.
Here's a look at your golf forecast as you're lining up that perfect putt. Guess what? You're going to have perfect putting weather. In fact, excellent, with more sunshine at 78 degrees. Well, not only has the weather gotten better and warmer, but the ability to breathe has gotten a little bit easier as well. And I'm going to show you why that's the case for us today and likely going into tomorrow. Our dry tech camera in Ocean City right now holding at 61 degrees. Now, we're a little warmer in other locations, but for Ocean City, we'll drop to 55 as early as 9 o'clock this evening under mostly clear skies and relatively light winds. You see, as you go farther in, we're warmer for right now. We're at 73 degrees, for example, in Seaford as well as Bridgeville, 78 degrees right now in Redden, but 67 Dagsboro, and we're at 60 degrees currently, Bethany Beach. The winds right now pushing out of the south, generally speaking, for the entire Delmarva Peninsula. So that's at least a kick-in of milder conditions. But the winds not going to become a big problem, but might be a little bit annoying on the beaches because we now have an active small craft advisory, meaning we're watching out for 25-mile-per-hour winds. So that's the Lewis Beach, Rehoboth Beach, Ocean View, Fenwick Island, down to Ocean City. It's also holding true for all the beach areas along the Chesapeake Bay area, including folks over in the Cambridge area as well. So it's a bit on the breezy side, but thanks to a dominance of high pressure in our neck of the woods, we're clear here for the Mid-Atlantic region, but the Ohio Valley region, the Tennessee Valley region, and the Southeast as a whole, very dominant high pressure system playing up and staying very strong. Now remember earlier I mentioned that, hey, we're breathing a little bit better. One reason why, air quality has gone from moderate or yellow, now we're in the green or we're in the good for the entire Delmarva Peninsula. So that's helpful. Another reason why breathing is a little bit easier, The pollen forecast is indicating all of our pollens have dropped down to low levels, including dust and dander, grass, mold, and trees. So now it's nice and easy breathing for everybody, even folks with allergies. For Tuesday morning, by mid-morning, temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s, near the 70-degree mark, and we'll peak at 80s, at least very briefly, but we'll have the winds pushing out of the south. There could be some sprinkles throughout the overnight period, but they're going to be so short-lived and so quickly and rapidly moving through when most of us are asleep, by the way. I don't really necessarily count that as a concern during the daylight hours. For Wednesday, by 5 o'clock, we'll still be hovering around the 80-degree mark in the first place. For Ocean Pines down the Snow Hill, pretty much we start off at about 50 in the morning time. And then we go into the mid-70s by Tuesday afternoon, 4 o'clock. Well, the wind's still pushing out of the south. We see overnight quick showers developing and briefly moving out of the way. 6 o'clock in the morning, we're going to be cloudy at Wednesday, but then we clear out nicely with temperatures rebounding into the 70s pretty quickly behind that. So when you take a look at our 3-day beach forecast, you'll notice we go 64, 71, 66. Ocean City, 64 to 64, but no rain. And we're not concerned about rain for Lewis or Rehoboth Beach. Finally, here's a look at the 7-day forecast. We're going to bounce around in the 70s and 80s for the next few days in a row till we get to Sunday and Monday of next week.
Thank you, Paul. The city of Cambridge recently got a letter from the Maryland State Highway Administration saying it plans to install a traffic light at Stone Boundary Road and Route 16. Some drivers say the intersection is too dangerous with speeding problems, but city leaders think a roundabout would be a better fix than a traffic light.
Cars speed and fly up and down the road. People just don't pay attention. They're always constantly pulling out. School buses come here. Kids are constantly getting off school around here and everything.
There's evidence that roundabouts slow traffic down in a more reasonable manner. It helps prevent accidents.
Now, this is being voted on at tonight's City Council meeting.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Yes, Commanders fans, your football team is coming home. Washington has struck a deal to return to RFK Stadium by 2030. The organization reached a $4 billion deal with the District of Columbia to construct a new stadium where RFK currently stands. The Commanders are putting up $2.7 billion of that total, making it the largest private investment in D.C. history. Washington played at RFK from 1961 to 1996, winning all 3 franchise Super Bowls at that time. If the project receives final approval, groundbreaking would begin in 2026, and the new stadium will have a roof. The Commanders can continue playing in Landover until the new stadium is built. Sticking with the NFL, former Del Mar youth star Dante Trader Jr. was taken by the Dolphins in the 5th round of the NFL draft this past weekend. He's the first player ever drafted from the border town. Parkside's Marcus Yarns was also signed shortly after the draft by the Saints as an undrafted free agent. And if you flip on over to DSN right now, you can watch Padua and Indian River girls soccer in our game of the night. That's it for sports. Have a great night, everybody.
Soaring Over the Shore is sponsored by Morse Roofing and Siding.
Wagaman's Pond is 41 acres large and gets up to 7 feet deep. A courtesy dock helps bass boats up to 20 feet long get on the water. Get this, the current largemouth bass state record holder was caught right here. Sunfish, perch, and bluegill also call the pond home. Nestled between neighborhoods and along a busy road, Wagaman's Pond is Midtown Serenity here in Milton.
Taking a look at our Hershey's exterior camera, Ocean City, 61 degrees with winds out of the south at 6 miles per hour. We'll drop down to 55 under clear skies. Gorgeous weather for right now, gorgeous weather for tonight. Our umbrella winner is Kathleen Lepowski of Lewis. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. It's just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Bruxted, Mendelis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your 10-day forecast.
All right, Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.